Good morning, welcome to today's Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday the 17th of August. So a quick look at data coming out. Actually, I should really look at the data that actually occurred yesterday. Well, we saw the Fed meeting minutes at 7 o'clock there. It did give the markets a bit of a jitter last night with the continuation of this sort of hawkish tone, and it's left the dollar strong last night for sure. Today we've got very little in the way of data coming out. What we've seen has been very weak for the Australian dollar, hence the Aussie dollar's already taken quite a move. Unemployment rose a little there. The employment change wasn't as good as expected. It came in quite negative there. So today we just got the weekly unemployment claims, the jobless number. It has more effect around about the day or the week before non-farm, so or any of the big the interest rate decision, etc. So not a lot there today. Then quiet day in the on the eastern front. Let's have just a check on data on my other system. I do look at two systems. Nope, there's nothing. There's no speakers. There's nothing at all that's programmed in there at this stage. So anything out there would be a bit of a surprise. Okay. Let's look at the markets themselves then. Euro dollar. Euro yesterday kept on running down. Got a potential on this today. We'll see what you see. It's how it's broken out there yesterday properly below its S1, weekly S1. Chances are it could run down to S2 now. So the fact is, didn't catch the weekly pivot. It's broken the S1. Maybe you'll see. I'm looking at it quite closely here with the. It coincides with the daily pivot. Now I won't sell directly into the daily pivot as ever. I'll be looking to chuck a trend line or something on there as we did yesterday. This was yesterday's. Eventually rolled over at about 12 o'clock. It's one we looked at in the first thing in the morning, but in the morning session. Eventually drifted over there, went down, caught the S1. So tick box in terms of the theory behind that trade. I didn't actually take that one. Anyway, so this is got the potential in the euro here. The pound less potential. It's stronger, and it's just consolidating effectively in the move this week. It's been working its way up slowly on this 4-hourly picture. Yesterday did sell off in the end, but really, I mean, it has scope to roll over at any stage, but it's just that little bit stronger than the euro, and I'm hoping it will remain a bit stronger than the euro for good reason at the moment. Dollar yen, well, this has continued its pitch to the upside. Perhaps the reassuring, the softness of the tone of the Bank of Japan the other day might just be allowing it to drift up a little bit further. So on that basis, I'm looking to see if we get a retracement back to towards today's pivot there. I've got the alarm set on it at the moment to see if it drifts back there. It might just push off later from the highs here, but I would give it some time, particularly give it a bit of time after 8 o'clock. Aussie dollar, well, the Aussies not liked the data. We've seen it sell off first thing today. Again, in a solid downward trend there. What am I doing? I've just changed markets instead of changed time periods. I thought, what's going on there? Solid trend, and it went from down to up. Sorry, it's different markets. That was the CAD. Anyway, you see the Aussie. It's out the bottom of its weekly S2 there, looking quite soft. Overall, I've put a little alert on the daily pivot here to see if we get a move into that possible sell with the previous lows there. So again, I'll just wait for it to topple over a little bit first with a targeting back down towards the lows. Very, very simple. US dollar CAD, well, here you go. It's running up there, continue to push up. Dollars against it, strong against the CAD here. Could look at this as well. It's sitting there near the pivot there. It's got a bit of divergence beforehand though, and the low between the divergence looks like it might get hit, in which case there's a possibility it'll roll a little bit further. So I'll keep an eye out of that. New Zealand dollar, pretty much following the Aussie dollar's path, solidly down. But well, again, we could be looking at the Aussie dollar. I'll pop a little alert on there. Sorry, New Zealand dollar. The New Zealand dollar might come back up again. You see the previous lows around this area. Probably a reasonable point of resistance, and a potential for the continuation of the trend. Simple as he says. So there's a few markets this morning that look like they've got some potential. Now, of course, they could all roll or continue pushing up, whichever way they're going. 4 hourly dollar Swissy still look quite a mess here. It's difficult. It's got the drift to the upside overall on this picture. We've got the higher lows coming through, but it's quite consolidated and more difficult to be. You just see on the short time frame here. It's doing what I expect it to do. Maybe I should just take a position with a big stop on it and leave it, because I believe that it could well push up further yet, but just waiting for ideal trade now. Euro yen continues to push up. The retail traders that are sitting there short on this must be dreaming of the time it actually rolls back over, but for now it's approaching back towards these prior highs. The more times it taps at this level, it tapped at it yesterday, more times this morning, beg your pardon, even the more times it taps at this level, the better the chance of it sort of continuing through. Certainly there's nothing to say on this daily picture it's going to roll over. It is into the R1 on the pivots here, the monthly R1. It hasn't quite caught the pivot, the daily monthly pivot itself, so there is scope for it to push on even further. Okay, euro pound, and of course if the yen continues to weaken, that's great. Right, the euro pound. So I'm finally took a short position in this yesterday. Did quite a bit of analysis on it. Let me squeeze it up. It's got this ascending channel that's been running in it. We've worked into a bit of a trend here on it in the last few days. You see it's quite a solid trend this week that's coming through. Now it might slow down as we run through here, but at the moment there's more elements to be on the short side than the long side on this. Yeah, there's not a lot to say much more on this. A possible sell into or increase trade into a retrace, but at the moment it's a slow market anyway in terms of pips. 41 pips average true range on a daily basis. Just let it run down slowly. Let's see what it can do. Maybe if it gets up another 20 or so pips away from the line there, might be worth it. And if we get about 60 pips up, in other words, it could be worth looking at an add in and moving the stop to break even on the first position. So there we go. Euro Aussie, this is just pushing up at the moment. Again, the weak Aussie, we've missed all these Aussie pairs, the CAD pairs, bit in between, in no man's land at the moment, bit in between. I don't like these sort of wedgie patterns that set up. They're very unreliable in terms of direction. That's really about it for me on my listings here. Aussie CAD still looks like it's got further downside. It originally had this rising channel here, ascending channel, which is broken, danced around and everything else, but it's on the underside of its quarterly S1 at the moment. It's a sort of a test of it. It'll be interesting to see if it rolls further down from that, but overall looking soft. Right, on that note, I shall leave you on. Oh, so I haven't looked at the indices. Quick look at the indices then. That's gold first. So gold really is largely coming down. Yes, we're catching a little bit of bounce here. We're seeing it right the way through the markets, the pound, the euro, everything's just pushing up. The yen's come off a little bit, so we're seeing it through here, but this is largely, to me, looking at it on this 4-hourly picture, the opportunity is just waiting for maybe the underside of this S1, weekly S1, that might just give some resistance. Again, we can just wait for it to break a trend line on the lower time frame. So just look at the lower time frames, wait for the trend line. It's almost back into its daily. It would be nicer if it gets back to its week. Well, actually, it's not far away. The S1 would be fine. I don't really want it back to the weekly. Retract that comment. Okay, gold, oil even. Oil's not having the bounce. It's the potential slowdown in China is really having its effect here. Even with lower stocks, it's still worked its way southbound at the moment. It's broken its original trend, broken that already yesterday morning, and well, yesterday it rolled off quite late, about 5 o'clock time. Trend line across the lows here. At this moment, I've really not wanted to be short on it, and I'm sort of waiting for it to turn. Now I might be wrong, but we'll see. There may be opportunities later today for a continuation to the downside that it's currently in. Equity market, CSI 300. Well, that gap down this morning, it ended up positive, but still looks like a very weak market to me. The Nikkei finally broke the levels I've been talking about for weeks, and this is confirmed lower highs and looks soft, and looks like we could see a continued drift to the downside. Nifty 50, no different really, down at the moment. Looking soft, still above the 50, but a break of that 50 might see more sellers coming into the market. Aussie 200, another one, it's just continued southbound and looking soft. Of the US markets, I said yesterday, the E-minis and the Nasdaq looking the weakest, and sure enough, we saw a continued sell-off like yesterday, pitching up a little bit at the moment, but that might just give sellers the opportunity to add in or get in. The Nasdaq in particular, just having a look here on the hourlies, yeah, that could be, he sets himself a little alert on the Nasdaq there. Might be interesting later to see what it shapes. Again, I don't personally sell directly into these pivots. In fact, this one might run over. There's some potential resistance in these prior lows. Might run into those first, but we'll see. We'll see how that develops. DAX sliding down. It's going to bounce this morning at the moment. Higher low come in here as well. Makes the sell point a little bit less interesting to me when it's doing this, although the overall picture is bearish there at this stage. But again, looking here, you've got the potential sell point into the daily pivot here. Again, look at the trend underneath, see if there's a decent trend line underneath, and maybe wait for the break of that for a confirmation. Right, that's it. I wish you a great day's trading in the YouTube traders there. And I'll catch you in the morning. Bye for now.